Hello everybody, my name is Justin Burrough, and today I'm going to be doing a thing I'm going to call Answers. It's going to be a series of videos wherein I take prompts, suggestions, questions, and comments, first generated by myself and my friends, and hopefully eventually generated by all of you. That'd be pretty cool. And I'll answer them. I will pick a prompt, read it out, talk about it, give my perspective on it, whether it be a story, a philosophy, what I think about whatever, or what it is. I'll answer forthrightly, in such a way that I'll try to give you my full context on the story or the answer. I want to do this just to kind of relate to people a little bit better. This is a series of videos, and I want to engage, and I want to produce some kind of content that maybe people like. And this is one of the ways I'm going to be doing that. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Jabelz Wavelz, and that's where I put gameplay videos, where I play a character playing the video games. And there's some good feedback on it. Check it out if you want. But these videos, or at least an approximation of them, will also be going up on that channel once we get a good setup coming. We're working on that. But in the meantime, I'm going to be doing these on Facebook and Twitter. That's where they're going to be posted. On the Justin Burrough Facebook, which is me, the creator, and on the Jabelz Wavelz YouTube channel. Jabelz Wavelz Twitter. That's the only Twitter I have. That's the one I operate for the channel and the character. So there's all of that. And with that mostly out of the way, we're going to start. I have gone to Random Thing Picker, which is a website you can go to. It's a good service. You basically just fill out a pool with each individual item or object, whatever that you wanted to pick from at a random thing. Separate them by commas. Hit pick one. It'll pick one, and when I do that, that'll be the one that we use. So I tested one to make sure it would work properly. Got what's your favorite animal? It's a rhino. I can talk more about them later, but the rhino is the icon for my YouTube channel for that very reason. I love rhinos so much. I always have. I've always been deeply enamored with them. But I'm going to do a new one right now, live for you guys. So I do know the prompts, or at least I've seen them, but I haven't had time to really think on all of them. I came up with a few of them, and friends also came up with some. We all put them in together. I'm going to hit pick one now. I'll turn it and everything. Hold on. So here we are. Got the pick one, and I'm going to hit the button now. Click. And we've got what's your biggest fear. It's a backwards in this video because I don't have the my camera, the front-facing camera is scuffed up, and it's fine for pictures or whatever I'm taking, but I don't want to put it in the video because I don't know how it'll come through the camera. So, what's your biggest fear? Well, let's see. There's a couple different ways to, I guess, consider the question, so I'll start with that. There's what's your biggest fear, as in, what are you, like, afraid of physically that might happen to you? There's existential fears that can be very troubling, or kind of abstract phobias also that don't really come into play in people's lives. I'm going to choose two because they're my most prominent personal fears that I have, and people who know me know them because I've talked about them, especially because I don't like pranks with the first fear that I'm going to do. I've been pranked with it before. It's very troubling. I have a very bad reaction to it. It's a deep-seated emotional reaction that I can't really control, and it's to live crackling electricity, and most prominently in things like tasers or stun guns that click and sound like lightning, and you see the little arc. I'm afraid of shocking myself when pulling out of a plug, or getting shocked when people rub their socks on the carpet. It's a horrible. I can feel my blood pressure going up already thinking about it. Just that sound, and one of my friends knowing this about me, but not having seen a reaction just yet. They got their taser, or their family's taser, or whatever, and got behind me and fired it right next to my ear. I was so alarmed that I screamed and turned and threw my elbow back over my shoulder and hit him on the side of the head so hard his eye got cut right there and started bleeding. I got a little scab there. Started bleeding right away, and he fell or stumbled over. And you're like, what the hell? And I was like, you what the hell? It was a bad situation. I really didn't like it. So anything like that, sparking wires, and just the idea of being electrocuted. Your electricity, all your signals are electric, and getting shocked disrupts them. And I don't like it. I don't want it to ever happen. And you should also not. Like, it should also be troubling for you. I'm not the crazy one for having a strong reaction to not wanting to be electrocuted. I think that's like a fair fear. The second one is a little more existential. I guess it is still a physical fear ultimately, but it's more existential. It's more about my current worry about it. And it's, well, and these videos can be silly or deep, and this part's going to be at least a little more serious. It's Alzheimer's or dementia, or in my age, losing my mind in a real and degenerative way that right now you're not able to fix it. And I'm dealing with it in my life. I've dealt with it before, and I'm dealing with it in my life now. And even since I was little, it was always been something that I didn't want to happen, because I value my mind. I think I'm a creative person, and I like to create, and I like to learn things, and I like to use my mind. And I know everyone does, but it feels special to me. And to think about losing pieces of it over time and not being able to reach out and grab them, and to have a thought and to want to say something, and right as you say it, it leaves and you can't get it back. And that happens to everyone sometimes, but it happens to my grandmother all the time. Pretty consistently. Memories and feelings about things and people change or are taken, and ultimately worse and worse physical decay and ultimately death. And there's no way out. We don't have a way out. So I guess that's my second biggest fear, and it's a little more a little less easy to make jokes about than electric shock, but it's very real, and it's a very troubling thought that I have sometimes about what if I start to lose my mind, and how will it feel to be confused constantly, or switching emotions and unable to know why. Just a very troubling thought in my mind. So, sorry if it's a little serious for everyone. I'll put a disclaimer in this one. I'm going to do these one-on-one or one prompt videos, and I'll post them separately. And I might either do a compilation on the YouTube channel when that finally starts to happen again, or I'll just refilm these basically and give answers on them, and they'll be slightly different. But so yes, that's my answer to what's your biggest fear. And yeah, I mean, fear is serious, right? So like, how is it going to be you know what I mean? Fear's a crazy emotion. It's a crazy feeling, and it's a deeply biologically rooted one. It's one that's so closely tied to our sense of survival. So like, we fear things that stop us from surviving, but our brains can't get out of the fact that we're not monkeys and cavemen anymore, but that we live in situations, for the most part, where many of the fears that lie in our brain don't actually have an effect on us. They're important to learn. Don't walk off high places. Don't walk into lots of teeth and ugly faces and things like that, but why do I have to be afraid of that in such a real way? I think part of it's also because there's nothing really to be done about it either. Like, that's something I can do now to make sure it doesn't happen later, so that's pretty bad. I guess there's some studies, but we're not near actual conclusion. As I wrap this up, I want to tell you that I'm okay talking about this. I want to share myself and my thoughts and my feelings with you. I want to engage with you. I hope I can. This is fun for me anyway, to talk about this, serious, funny, whatever, to talk and think and to critically engage and to kind of move past it. So this is me moving past it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Answers, part 1, what's your biggest fear? And you will see me in the next one if you watch it. I'll be there. Thank you, and goodbye.